Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our transgressions, as we forgive those who are transgressing against us. And lead us while being in temptation, and deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Absolute infinite beingness, God, everlasting life, love, and mercy, manifesting yourself in yourself as your total wisdom and your almightiness. Enlighten our minds to understand you as the truth. Clean our hearts to reflect your love towards you, our love towards you, and towards all other human beings. Amen. I welcome you to Cyprus. Maybe the most interesting thing for a human being is to understand what is life. We are living as human beings. But if somebody will ask you, what is life? Can you answer? What can life be? And even if I tell you life is God. Again, what you will understand? What is God? What's life? Now, we are using words in all the languages without really understanding what is or what it might be the meaning in these words. What is God? What's life? What is love? All these are synonyms. Now, by using our mind, of course the pansympathetic mind, making it our own, by using it properly, by concentrating and observing things, we can come out of this labyrinth, out of this maze of ignorance. You say, but why there should be ignorance? Of course, this is something in the human nature. But what is most encouraging is that by using the mind, as we say, consciously, we can come out of this maze, and we can say that we know. But doing that, subconsciously, you are expressing a self. Who knows? Who can concentrate? Who can meditate? Who can use the mind? Then we come to another point. What is the mind? What are these means I am using to know? Then again, to know what? It's just something that needs much study. What can I know? What is everything around me? This I can know. But who am I? Who can know this or that thing? So meditation starts from the very beginning. And everybody can do it if he or she is willing to do it. So there is not any mystery, a secret way. What we need is to exercise our divine nature of observation, concentration, willpower, and come out of ignorance. Willpower. What's willpower? Again. What we find out after observation and meditation? That we have and we can get what we call the knowledge, partly, and then continuing, more accurate, I would say. At the beginning, we don't get things, as I would say, accurately. And we need to concentrate to say why. Why can we not get things from the very beginning accurately, correctly? Because the human nature is to just be in a hurry to get to conclusions. So we have to overcome this weakness of our human nature. And of course, an instructor will tell you, think slowly. Don't jump, don't rush. Concentrate. Now it comes the point that you will use your divine nature of observation. By observation, looking out, you can learn everything. Looking within, you can learn what you are, to make your study on your own self. So that all these things will happen, it means we are living. And that can be life. Now we came to a point. What's life? We can study life all around us. I'm telling you, everything is life and everything is living. There is not such a thing as death. Because if death existed or exists, it means that God cannot be immortal and everlasting. So what we call death is the change. There is not something like annihilation of our so-called self-consciousness. Now we come to another point. What is it to be conscious in life? Now it needs much concentration and observation. Be conscious of something, of the existence of something, and subconsciously to know that I am what I am, who I'm able to know. So it needs much attention, concentration, and our divine nature of observation. But now again, what's observation? We shall see it not from the outside things, but from the inner meaning and power of it. To observe is our divine nature, and it is what we call the nature of our selfhood. What's selfhood now? You say self-consciousness. No. Self-consciousness expresses the selfhood, but the selfhood is common. What we call selfhood is the nature of the absolute infinite beingness, the comprehensible way of selfhood. For us, limited now in a personality. Then you have it in expression. What are called the locus selfhood, not logoic, the locus selfhood, which is common. What are the characteristics of this locus selfhood, which is our nature, and we must find it out by using the mind? What is this locus selfhood? Now we should try just to see the meanings in the words. Somebody will say, the total wisdom. Definitely, it is the nature of the selfhood. The almightiness. Of course it is. What is more important is love. Now, what's love? We are using the words every day, but what do these words mean to us? And how can we just study this, the nature which is behind all these words? What is love in matter, the material world? You say God is love, and love is everywhere, either not manifested or manifested love. Now let us come to the orthodox science, what the people find out, the scientists. If I put to a fellow the word, what's cohesion? What can he tell me? Unless there is not this law of cohesion, is that not what you call it? Matter would not exist. Attraction. What's attraction? What is this force, this great power? We can just now detect by observation and meditation, studying things in the cross-material world or around us. Nobody can deny, no scientist can deny the law of cohesion or attraction. Yes, we see two things or more things attracted and uniting, and we call that cohesion. But what is that? Why that exists? I think we are in very deep waters. It's difficult just to enter in it unless we learn the introspection, the observation properly, and how to use the mind. Where do we come? In conclusion, let us call it the will of God. More easy expressions. But now what's God? Don't try to imagine God, something beyond our comprehension and our daily life. It's everywhere. You must just understand what is God. When I was giving this lesson to some persons in their time, a fellow who happened to be a dignitary of the church said, but you minimize God now. Minimize God? And can you see God a better way in your imagination or imagining? And can everybody just have the same kind of imagination, imagining God? Why should we not just find Him, find it rather, in everything? How will we minimize its most divine majesty? Because you will understand what is this great force, power, let us call it almightiness, even in the smallest things, in the cohesion, in the formation of an atom, because can see the almightiness, the total wisdom of the beingness and the beingness in the smallest and in the biggest thing. It is just the same in an atom and in the galaxy. So we don't minimize God in studying an atom. This is what the Orthodox science are doing now. They say just seeing an atom, they can see a solar system. Nucleus, neutrons, so many things just behaving in the same way that all planets and all heavenly bodies are behaving in a solar system. There are many, many solar systems in our galaxy. Happily now, astronomy is a good science to make people find God as love and manifestation in himself. Just now, let us see things imagining, using the mind and the proportions. Again, what Orthodox science knows today, sizes in space. The Earth, our planet, is not more than a small little ball, marble. The children are playing now, according to the comparison we'll make. And the sun, a mass, fairy mass, as big as this house, maybe not bigger. 1,000,000 times the sun is bigger than the planet Earth. There are other planets in our solar system. What studying can I observe? Motion, movement, the circular motion around the center. And we know that our planet Earth, very, very, very big for us, just comparing it to other heavenly bodies, is just like that little marble. Comparison to a mass just like this house, very mass. And we see it accurately, moving around its axis, the Earth, every 24 hours, and according to its position, going round the sun, turning the one side or the other side. It gives to us every year, from all times until now, the same phenomena: winter, spring, summer. This day, last year, or before 20 years, 50 years, 100 years, the sun was rising at the same time. It is not every day. It says that from Christmas, the day has a minute. It's added a day, on the day, a minute. It goes like that, and you have shorter days and longer nights, and longer nights and shorter days according to the season. And one can study all these things and know which is this mind behind it. And we leave the rotation of the Earth around its axis. Let us take now the Earth, that little, like a marble. Is that marble we call it? Small thing, going around the sun. Just make your imagination. Have a marble, and the distance between the sun and the planet is, say, 15 kilometers. Not more, I think. Just like that. Just moving around its axis, and accurately in a year's time, it will make its movement around the sun. Just put in your mind now the distance and the size of the masses, the sun, the planet Earth. Who is holding this marble-like mass, which we are calling Earth, and we are living on it, moving around the sun and around its axis without changing? Only fools and people who cannot use their mind are denying this almightiness and the total wisdom of what? Of course we say God, but again I am telling you, what is God? Is it a human being and a human being? Not only a human being, and a human being. Then we come again to our question: what is life? Now, you have to think deeply. I don't want the characteristics of life now. We'll study them later. What is life? Because unless we understand what's life, we cannot understand what's God. What can life be? The beingness, incomprehensible, but it should be so that things will exist in it. Is that space? And space, not only space. Of course, it needs much introspection, observation, and meditation just to understand a little about creation. Yes. Joshua Emmanuel, the Christ, the God-man, the most perfect expression of the Logos, had manifested all that in the Sefer Yetzirah, the study on the creation given by him to the Essenes. Of course, the Jews, the Hebrews, the old Egyptians, and many knew something revealed to them by the holy archangels. But was the human brains able to grasp the truth about all this creative work of the archangels and of the Logos and of the beingness? Now we come to study the words, the archangels. What are the archangels? We are using words, but we must understand what are the archangels. We should go step by step, studying the phenomena and the causes behind the phenomena. Of course, when we say to a fellow an archangel, the human being and the human mind or brains understand something known to them according to their nature, not beyond that. This is the human nature, to try to bring everything in its measures, which is the mistake. You should not just declare truths, try to bring them to the measures of a human brain, but we should expand beyond that to understand the truth, beyond the limitations of what I call human understanding. Because we have just to decide from the very, very beginning, starting to study and learn all these things, we should remove the barriers from us of the limited way of common human understanding. When I say the archangels, they think that's one Michael, and they think that Michael is just like a human being, or a Gabriel, or a Raphael. I had a fellow the other day, dignitary said of the church, saying, but there are many Michaels, and many Raphaels, and many Gabriels? I said, of course. Many, billions, beyond number, yet one. What's that yet one? This is the point to understand. One in that kind and nature of expression. But because a human being, a living God as a human being, is limiting its self-consciousness to an individual, to an individuality, cannot understand what is called the common existence, and not the limited existence to a personality. Now, I'll explain it more. Studying a human being, a man or a woman, you cannot say that you know every other human being. Different way of living. All of them are living. Living means the common expression of the infinite beingness to be as a human being living. That's common. But each human being, man or a woman, has his own way of living, his own personality, his own individuality. An individuality, but in individuality you enter in the common selfhood, which you find it in very, very deep introspection beyond what I'll call ecstasies, using the mind in a more perfect and impersonal way. Now, of course, suppose I study the character, the nature, the way of expression of a human being. Maybe no other human being is expressing himself or herself in the same way. Starting one Michael, you know all Michaels, because all Michaels have their own, not personality, maybe individuality, we don't have a better word to use, yet there are billions and billions and billions of self-conscious gods in their common archangelic nature. The one and all, something unknown to the human being, living in the world of separateness, in the world of illusions. Because we are in very deep waters, we do not understand what is common logos selfhood. This is what Joshua Manuel the Christ came to teach us. Has taught the Essenes and all those about this common logos selfhood. Is that easy to understand it as an individual, as a human being, having a name, a form. The form is common to all. What about the name? the personality, the character. Now we have to study these differences in life so that we'll understand what's life. Life is not just the way we are living as human beings. Life is something greater. So, what we'll do is just study phenomena and what's behind the phenomena, so that we'll reach to a knowledge, relative knowledge at the beginning, but becoming broader and broader and broader until we reach to the truth. Now what's truth? Don't think that's an easy thing to know the truth, even the relative truth. So I come again and I say, we should express and use our divine nature of observation, of what I call willpower, and the ability now of using what the absolute beingness and absolute beingness had given me. The material body, the other bodies, and the mind. Germans call it Geist. Yes, it's holy, but you should not mix it with the Holy Spirit, which is God. You have just to make a distinction in that. The mind or Geist is holy, heilige. But the Holy Spirit is divine. It's an expression of the absolute infinite beingness dynamically. So you can reach to these conclusions in deep introspection and in meditation. Now I'm asking you, what's life? Everything is living. The metals are living. The stones are living. Somebody told me the stones are living. What are the crystals? What are what you call precious stones? And why should we have so much differences? Because there is difference in the way they are living. They say everything is living. Death cannot exist in an everlasting, immortal God. That would mean that death is in him. It is in our imagination. I say again that we make the mistake to consider the change beyond our understanding and beyond the phenomena as death. Such a thing does not exist. Now, I'm putting again the question, what's life? The stones are living, the sand is living, crystals are living. Do we understand that kind of life? Now Orthodox science started to suspect it and study it. What makes the iron become rusty while the glass is not becoming rusty, becoming ill? Changes. I'm telling you, the Orthodox science, a seeker of the truth, has a great respect even for today's science, because science is leading the mind and the brains of a human being to reach the relative truth and then proceed for the truth. No serious seeker of the truth is not having respect for the present day science in any branch, because what do they find? What can they find? God. Find God where? In its manifestations and beyond the manifestations. That means study life. They're synonymous. So, now again, what's life? We said that the stones, the sand, and everything is living. Yes, but by observation and study, I see that on the ground are growing things, vegetation, in the sea, in the waters. Then I start to see matter in different states of existence. Solid, gross matter, I find the water. And still further, I find natures of matter in a different way. Then what's matter? Needs much study to know. Does Orthodox science now know what's matter? No. They will know someday. They suspect, many of them, just Einsteins and all others. They suspect. They give also definitions. But Orthodox science, in all its branches, physical branches, are still in the embryonic state. They need much more time to understand and study matter. Now, what they found out now, that matter and energy are the same, and you can turn matter into energy, and from energy come to matter. A great, great truth. Now, to put them in the question, can you do that? Which is that great intelligence which is doing it now, turning energy to matter and matter into energy? Of course, you will tell them God. I said, God? I'm wondering why this God is so much tempting, yet the Orthodox science now. You have certain scientists saying, oh yes, God is dead. He has died. Yet everything is living. Everything is life. So, we say, we find herbs, plants, trees, are going a step forward from the core inorganic matter. We see now life manifested. You see that this kind of life now is completing a circle of existence. The circle of possibilities of every kind of living, existing manifestation of life. What is just amazing is that apart from completing that circle of possibilities and the circle of existence, they have in it every manifestation of life the power to create. Of course, the whole archangels are doing it. But you can see to create what you call seeds, which include in it this circle of possibilities and of existence, just to prolong the existence of that kind of life. What's that? How is that done, and by whom? We can create many, many things using our brains, our mind. Can a scientist today create one seed of any kind of the manifestation of life, to plant it? And we see growing anything living. Did human beings do until now? Computers and many, many, many things deprived of life. Now what's life? We see life in everybody around living like us as human beings. We see life. In the vegetable kingdom, in trees, everywhere around us. We see the continuation of the phenomena of life, always confined for each species in its own circle of possibilities, not going beyond that. But we see that every phenomenon of life has the means of prolonging its existence in creating other similar phenomena of life, but not being able to go beyond that. Who's just controlling this circle of possibilities? We can bring kind of animals together of the same kind. They'll just produce something of their own kind. Cannot have dogs and great horses, or cows and making serpents. Who is controlling this so-called circle of possibilities? Who can deny this absolute infinite intelligence we call God, controlling all that phenomena of life? Nobody can deny that. Everybody can study things around in nature and will come to the same conclusions. You'll see order, harmony, and the total wisdom in everything, in any phenomenon of life around us. We can study the phenomena of life, and what more, the form and the material existence of that phenomenon of life. Come to another point of study now, matter. We see that all phenomena of life on the planet, in nature, have to use matter. The elements composing the matter in their own nature. Whether this phenomenon of life is a human being, an animal, or a plant, they need these elements. Cross matter, water, heat, and still more and more things that the Orthodox science will find out. Call it energy, cosmic rays. Well, now, I said that the Orthodox science suspects and tries and finds the relative truth concerning the creation. So, study matter. Let us study now what is, as a phenomenon, in the creation in the world of existence, so that something to exist, it should have definitely a form. Billions and billions and billions and billions of forms expressing life. The form of an ant, billions of ants, of a butterfly, of a worm. They said all phenomena of life, these billions and billions of phenomena of life, strictly are on their circle of possibilities of existence, not going beyond that, and have in them the power of creating similar forms of life in what we call time and place-space. Now another confusing thing, what's time? What is place-space? What is space? There are so many things that should engage the mind of a human being. Still people are living in their own life, not trying to understand what is going on around them, what is in the world and in themselves, living. Now, can you know what is a human being as a person, a personality, and then come to the conclusion that all human beings are similar? You said before, knowing what an archangel called Michael, you know all Michaels. And a Gabriel, you know all Gabriels. But I said before, you cannot know what are human beings, male or female, by studying Maria or George. So this study is the most confusing. We have now two ways. The one way we are treating now is the common way. What is life generally? What is needed so that life should express itself in the world of phenomena? As we came to the conclusion, it needs matter, water, elements, and all that.